Welcome to Flourish, where we explore how to nurture, coach, and inspire the children we love to let their genius blossom. I'm your host, Diane Planadin. Today's episode was inspired by an educator who attended one of my seminars, and I'm going to bend your ear a little bit today as it may be something that you're struggling with on how to help a student or a child when they do not have the motivation to succeed. When someone is struggling, we know, don't we? We feel it with all of our senses, and we can see it quite clearly. After all, parents and educators, well, they are the original influencers. They are the ones at the forefront. So when something is wrong, you know. And you know you need to get to the root of the problem sooner than later. Imagine a world where we all felt self-empowerment and we all were just energized and excited and happy beings. Well, that sounds like a perfect world, doesn't it? What if we all know our purpose? As times change in our life, wow, we'd be going Mach 2 with our hair on fire. We'd be unstoppable. Unstoppable. Well, that's what motivation and inspiration is all about. So let's take the out of unmotivated. In any school atmosphere, because specifically an educator asked me to talk about this, there is a golden circle of trust between educator, student, and parent. Yes, parent. Some educators don't want parents involved. Let them just do their job. That's where you're wrong. Where do you think they go after school? Yeah, they go home to their parents. And parents, well, school is not a babysitting club. It is where you learn. And it may not be your department, but it doesn't end once you get home. Where is the accountability? Where is the trust? Communication has to be open throughout the entire academic career, right until high school graduation. This is a child we're speaking of. This is a young mind that is being molded, because children do not lack capacity. They lack teachers. Aha, I just said teachers. I'm not talking about educators. Teacher is a person who helps a student acquire knowledge, competence, and virtue. It could be multiplication, but could also be riding a bike. As adults, it is our responsibility to help the next generation. And we are also very hyper aware of what we say and do and how that impacts others. Use your power for good when raising children in any capacity, in any occupation, as you have a major influence on them for the future. Major. This is how we learn. I grew up with the original Spider-Man. I just loved it when he talked to himself. And he knew, he had intuition. His spider senses were tingling. Well, parents and educators have those same powerful spider senses. It's in all of us. We know. The other thing Spider-Man used to say was what his Uncle Ben always told him. With great power comes great responsibility. And Spider-Man would say to himself, "This is my gift, my curse." There's a little bit of Spider-Man in all of us, and it's our responsibility, our duty to raise the next generation in a positive, effective manner. So how do you take the out of unmotivated? Begin with a proper mindset. A positive word creates a positive response. A positive action creates a positive reaction. William James said, "The greatest revolution of our generation is the discovery that human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives." Here's the twist. If you don't know who William James is, he was born in 1842. 1842. What in the world is going on with us humans? This great American philosopher knew this, and yet we don't teach our children this. They don't teach it in schools. Is this supposed to be a secret? Mind over matter needs to be taught, needs to be honed. It's a skill. It is a true life skill. Children, though, for the most part, well, they're pretty straightforward. They spell love T-I-M-E, time. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. The best present you can give a child is to be present, to give them your time. Be interested in what they have to say, but without being in their face all the time, if that makes sense. You know, they need enough privacy to explore and use their imagination, or talk to their imaginary friend, or write in their journal, or just have quiet time. But they need to know you're there for them, to be present, to give them time. By giving them time, you're helping them see the big picture, to go on a journey and understand that it takes baby steps, one step at a time, to succeed. No one's an overnight success. No one. And no one does it by themselves. What would it matter? Talking to me, myself, and I? It doesn't matter. But learning to listen to themselves and trust their instincts, they do this through habit. Choose to help children to blossom, to keep their roots healthy, to build a strong foundation. And begin by doing so by looking at their habits and then understanding where they got that from. Influencers, parents, and educators. How to motivate the unmotivated child? You need to help them retool their habits. They are so used to being unmotivated. Why bother? Let us become habit. Associate the good with the positive and let children know there is a reward. They will be happy and cheerful and overjoyed with a little change. To stay motivated, there is a reward. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Where this gets messy, because nothing's ever simple, is it? Is the unmotivated parent or the unmotivated educator. And yes, they do exist. And it's very difficult to imprint a change onto an adult. We have a lot of free will, and as we get older, it's stronger and stronger, and would require a paradigm shift. The adult changing the way you think, what you believe, what you've learned over time. Change is good, but it's not easy. If you are really passionate about helping the unmotivated child, you're going to have to help the adults behind the scenes as well. Because there's no reason, none, that we all can't live a happy, productive, positive lifestyle. It's possible. Children are sponges, and they'll take it all in from these influencers, from parents and educators, to form their own persona. This does not mean one person is right and one person is wrong. When people are at odds, not of the same mindset, remember, the person opposite has a different paradigm than you. To understand other people's perspectives, it takes communication. And sometimes, when someone has an opposite view of you, they're going to dig in because it's their way or the highway. And that is not creative, critical thinking. That's small-mindedness. Does anybody aspire to think small? No. Think big. Think greater than your environment. And think critically. It's important for your child's future or your student's future. Regardless of what type of influencer you are, it's important. Build that golden circle of trust. People want to be heard. Be a good listener. Encourage open communication. A simple way of doing this is to negotiate. Children are expert negotiators. They know what they want. Listen to them, and they will tell you. If they're too shy, ask them to write you a note or draw you a picture. Picture is worth 1,000 words sometimes, you know that? As adults, negotiations may be a little bit more difficult. So listen and mirror the person opposite you. Not in a condescending way, but sometimes all it takes is to repeat the last 3-4 words a person says when they're talking to you, so they know you've heard them, and they'll continue, and they'll open up. Sometimes they'll tell you too much, but it's communication and it's open. By the way, this needs to be verbal communication. My preference is always face-to-face, but if that's not possible, pick up the phone, talk to the human being on the other line, because communication through text messaging or emails, well, it loses something in the translation. Have a positive impact. There are numerous studies that show that when a parent or an educator firmly believes in the success of a child, the odds are forever in their favor, because you have that belief system and that encouragement, and it's just a natural side effect. Build that support system, because support, feedback, and advice from educators to parents and vice versa is vital. And parents, you need to pay attention. Trust in the education system, but also trust in your child and advocate when you see them struggling, because you know. Patience is important here. 30 to 60 days to form a new habit. Baby steps, every day. Put the child first. Come together as a team. Do not belie each other's insecurities, but find the good with a common goal of success. Success for the child, the student. Be the change. Build the rapport and build the confidence in each other and the golden circle of trust. This is a team effort, because a circle does not have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It is infinite and only works when it is not broken. Build courage, conviction, build grit, and persist until you succeed. Because it's possible. It's truly possible. Well, obviously I'm very passionate about this subject, so Thank you. Thank you for the inspiration from that educator that wanted to hear about how to take the un out of unmotivated and really help a child succeed in school and in life. As a final thought, my promised connection. Each week I end the show with my quote. We are all born with a gift. We are all born with purpose. Life's journey is to hone and develop that gift as purpose changes within. So if your gift is being an educator and your purpose is to be the best one ever, to make a difference in this world for the next generation, thank you. Your journey in life is to hone and develop that gift as we never stop learning. And that's a prime example of an educator reaching out to me for a little bit of thought and advice and ideas on maybe how to handle an unmotivated student. As time goes by, your purpose will change within. You will grow, you will have built a foundation, and then you'll continue your journey. And you'll continue to use your skills and knowledge for the greater good, for the greater purpose, with your critical thinking. Because this is an amazing time to be alive, and there's so many opportunities. And I just love the next generation coming forward, because they're going Mach 2 with their hair on fire. And I just love that. Live well, my friends. Build the golden circle. With great power comes great responsibility. I'll see you next week.